So a couple days ago, I believe I did a video about how to turn focus bracketing on the Canon R6 Mark II. And I got to thinking after I posted that about how cool it might be. Well, maybe not cool to you, but cool to me um, to do a macro shot of something really tiny with the Canon R6 Mark II in the Canon's native RF 100 millimeter lens, not only using the WeMacro Rail, but also using focus bracketing and then comparing the two shots. So today, what I'm going to do is I have this 22 gauge sharp needle. Yeah, I don't think I can get to be in focus at all, maybe. I don't know. Um, this is what I use to put like water droplets on things. And this is what our subject's going to be. Maybe I should put this in here without poking myself. Um, so yeah, so that's what I plan on doing. But first we need to do a little house cleaning. As you can see, I got to put my camera on the WeMacro. I got to clamp it down. I need to take some stuff off because we're not going to use no flashes. And I'll tell you why after we get done with this intro. So let's kick this thing off. Okay, so we're back. It took me a while to set this up. I did some, I don't know, man. I poked myself and it just went downhill from there. So let's go to the cam link here. And as you can see, I'm at 1/100th of a second, f2.8, ISO is 16,000. Uh, That's that's what I had to put in to be able to get in a good exposure. I'm in a basement. It's dark as heck. I have every single overhead light I can have on. I even have my LED on and my light that's in the back. So that's what you get. You can't use flash when you're using focus bracketing with the Canon R6 Mark II, and you got to deal with the light you have. So let's go ahead and fire off these rounds and see if see how many shots it takes to get everything in focus. So as you can see, it is starting to go down. I'm starting to outrun my buffer. So right now, over 90 shots, over 100 shots now taken. And it is moving really, 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 really slow. I don't know if I'm going to keep this up because I might have to replace my shutter. It is moving so slow. Oh my God. And this is at the step one, guys. So it's moving the focus just a little bit at a time. Just knowing how I'm going to be able to, just knowing how I'm going to be able to focus, not quick stack, but stack and line these in Photoshop. Photoshop will have a nightmare. It'll have a heart attack. It's way too many. Oh, almost 1,000 photos. Not like throwing 1,000 photos on your. Good thing this is electrical shutter, so my mechanical shutter ain't getting more. And that's it. I don't even think we got everything. I honestly don't think we got everything. So let me reboot and let me put the WeMacro in, and we'll see how many photos it's going to take um, with it. So 999 photos. All right, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. 999 photos that rattled off, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna look like crap. So, what I'm gonna do is I reset everything. Um, and this time, instead of doing increments of 1 with the focus bracket, I used Canon's default, which is 4. So let's see how many photos it's gonna take to get this with the 4-step interval. So I don't know, man. You ready? Let's cross our fingers. There, right about there. That's all I wanted. So let's shut it off. So 540 minus 999 is 459. I forgot how many already. 540 was it? So yeah, there's my error. I always get it. So at a 4-step, it was like a little over, I don't know. Right now, I'm still stuck on the 999 photos I rattled off. So I almost rattled off 2,000 pictures of absolutely jack crap. So let's stop recording right here. I'm going to set it up for the WeMacro and we'll get right back. Okay, everybody, we're back. So now we're going to do this with the WeMacro. And what a WeMacro is an electronic rail that moves ever so slightly, depending on what you put in the system for this. So for what I have set up at f2.8 with a full frame camera, my step is 0.149 millimeters, but the WeMacro only will go in 0.005 increments at a time. So we're going to set this up. We're going to say, we're going to make it move. We're going to let it stop for a second, and then it's going to fire. We need to set the step length to what I said. Let's get on the right screen here, Jay. We're going to have it set for 0.149. Oh, 145, my bad. And we're going to save that. Now, what we need to do is we need to make sure the first thing that we want in focus is in focus, and the last thing we want in focus is focus. So we move the macro rail back and forth. So right now we have it right at the point, as you can see, and that's pretty good in focus. So let's go backwards. No, let's go forwards. Right there is where we want to start, pretty much at the same spot where the focus bracketing started with the Canon. So we're going to mark that as a start point. And then we're going to go forward until we get the last stuff that we want in focus. So we're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm going to say probably right about, and this is a little difficult here, because we still got a little bit up focus of the plastic, you see. And you see how it moves when I move the rail? Watch the plastic. See how it moves a little bit? That's why we need the shutter waiting time at 3 seconds. So after it moves, it gives everything, time to settle down. So I'm going to call that an endpoint. And we're going to set that as an endpoint. And if you look, according to the WeMacro, it's going to move approximately 27.115 millimeters to take this whole frame to make sure everything that I want to focus is in focus. It's going to take 188 photos. Yeah, it says 187, but it always fires one off at the before. So 188. And it's going to take 759 seconds. So as you noticed when it's moving, some of the stuff started coming out because like you can see the whole cap is right there. That's all blurred. And with the focus bracketing, that stayed there because the camera stays. It doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the focusing point. Now, when you're doing macro and you can't do automatic focus bracketing or automatic focus, you have to move the camera back and forth in order to get focus. So you take a picture right there, and then when you move it forward, the tip is no longer in focus. Now a little bit after it's in focus, and it keeps moving like that. So the camera moves. So as the camera moves, you're going to lose some stuff. So that said, you're not going to have to set through this whole thing. I'm going to speed it up because 759 seconds is a long time to wait. So let's calibrate this thing, take the backlash off, and let's hit run. And you know what? I'll see you at the end. I think this might have been a bad idea. Okay, we are almost done. We have about 3 more photos to go, and then it's going to stop. Well, there it is. It's done. So let's bring all these photos into Helicon focus. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I should have stopped this after the first 999, and then I just kept moving forward. I did another, 459 photos. So at that point, I was like 1,450 photos deep into this. So now it's just about the principle. Yeah. Okay, so now we have Helicon Focus opened, and I am going to I think I'm going to do the WeMacro stuff first because it's only 188 photos as compared to 459 and 999. And I don't even know if we're going to do the 499 or the 999, depending on this. So I'm going to move them over. So let's do that. I already have the file open. I just got to highlight all of the ones I want. And we drag them up here. And we drop them. And as you can see, they start populating. Right here's the status bar, and it's 188, and bam, they're in. So now what we need to do is I need to pick one of the three methods, A, B, or C, or do all three. Normally I do all three, but I'm only going to do method B on this. And we're going to hit start, and it's going to align, and it's going to stack them. So I will speed this part up because I don't know how long it's going to take because it has to align, and then it goes through and stacks a little bit, and then it creates a depth map, and it takes time. And with 188, I don't know how long it's going to take. So let's get my ugly face out of here, and we will start it up. Okay, so I wanted to just butt in here for a minute and talk about something. So far, what I've learned, and it's probably really nothing, is that when you use Canon focus bracketing at a step interval of when it barely moves. And I say that because if you think about it, the setup for the WeMacro at 1.4 millimeters, not 1.4, I'm sorry, 0.145 millimeters a step, that was taking 188 pictures to get from the top of the needle to where I wanted it to end in focus. And with one step interval with the Canon, that was 999 shots. I don't think I got it all. And then when I moved it to a 4-step interval, that was 459 shots. So that leaves a lot to, I'm wondering, does anybody know how that works? I mean, like, what is the interval movement? How far does your focus point move when you're using focus bracketing with the Canon R6 Mark II? Even the R5 or any Canon camera that has focus bracketing capabilities, you know, I think is like closely held secret. I'm not too sure, but it just seems weird to me. Then again, maybe it all depends on the aperture. Maybe there's calculations going on in the back that we don't know about, depending on the aperture size. All depends on how far it's going to move because of the depth of field. But I don't know. I just know that at a step of 1, whatever that covers is 999 photos for that needle. Granted, it started at 1.4 times magnification and it ended under 1 magnification because of how the focus moves on that, to where when we used a WeMacro, it stayed at 1.4 times magnification the whole time. And that's why we saw the shrinking of the plastic cap, because it had to move and it's not, defocusing to get everything in. So it'll be interesting to see. Is this going to change anything? No. I still going to take handheld macro photography when I'm out in the woods, hanging onto the camera and going back and forth manually. That's just how I like and how I prefer. But I just wanted to do this. I was just curious. I had a few hours to kill before bedtime. And yeah, so I'm sorry I wasted all your time. And so if you guys are watching this, so let's speed this thing back up. So okay, so we're about 12 minutes and 15 seconds into this monstrosity. Is done mapping it out, and now what it's doing is it's starting to put it together. The sharpest points, the sharpest detail of each of the photos is getting put in. And then when that's done, it'll be done. There's no way in God's green earth I'm going to even attempt the 999 one or the 459 one, because I'd be here all night and I don't want to be here all night. So this was a lesson learned and I should have known better. And I don't know why. I'm going to blame that I created 3 videos today to release at certain points of the week. And my head was dumb. And I thought, hey, let's take a 22 gauge needle and only do 1.4 times magnification, when this thing should have been maybe just a picture by itself using my 2.5 to 5 times Lawa, so I can get up close and personal. And this is just horrible, all around horrible, guys. But you know what? It is kind of interesting to see a little bit, just because of just because. I mean, 999 photos. That doesn't even count like the 300 of them that I totally took. I forgot to turn the lens to autofocus, and it was on manual. Nothing was going on, so I'm like, dude, what? Probably close to 1900 photos deep into this stupid project. Oh, jeez, oh, Pete's. Oh, I can just imagine the comments that I'm gonna get. Well, why'd you do this? You're an idiot. I ain't nothing better to do. I'm single. It's hot as heck out. I'm in the air conditioning. I thought, hey, why not? So it's starting to look kind of neat, don't you think? I mean, showing that needle there. Well, but look at all this noise. It's all noise. Look at all the noise right there. You know, a lot of people say you got noise because you got high ISO or high ISO. Well, yeah, no, it's not how it works. The noise is always there. It's just when you increase your ISO, you're introducing gain, you're introducing brightness, and it's bringing the noise out of the photo that's already there. So it doesn't really introduce noise. It doesn't create it. It just shows it to you. Um, of course, all the photographers know this, but it's just easier to say, hey, increased ISO makes noise. But for your beginners out there, that's really what's going on. And I'll fight you tooth and nail if you say anything differently. I mean, uh, Adorama TV says the same thing. If you talk to David Bergman, I believe Gavin Howie, even talks about this. And was it in Simone D'Entremont? Like Simone D'Entremont, he talks about it as well. He talks about it great. I like that YouTube channel. So if you have time to peruse it, go ahead. It's looking kind of pimp now, isn't it? It's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Kind of weird, but all right, let's speed this up. Let's get my ugly face out of here and speed this up again. Okay, there it is. It is all done. Let's shrink myself down here a little bit. Whoop. So yeah, this is 188 stack photos. And then what we normally do from here, we would export it. I export it as a DNG. And then I bring it into Lightroom and Photoshop, and then I'd start doing my edits on it. Normally what I'd do is I'd actually render out a method A and a method C, because 9 times out of 10, your A and B are going to be the best ones, depending on what you're taking pictures of. Depending on what the details are, A and B is usually the best ones, normally B for me. And C, the background, is usually the best background out of A or B. So normally what I'll do is I'll do all three, and then maybe I'll combine A and B and stack those together to make like a hybrid B. And then I'll bring the hybrid B and the C into Photoshop, and then I'll use the background of C to replace with my background of my hybrid because it looks better. I don't know if you followed me on that. If you're not, I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. And we can always do some retouching if we need to. We can just go to this retouching panel right here if we wanted to do it in there, and then we can find stuff that we wanted to retouch. Let's say like we want to get some of the red of this, some of this. We just find a good photo. Every time you click on one of these photos on the side, it'll bring it up over here, and you can find what you're looking for. Honestly, every single photo is going to have this glare right here because of the high ISO and just everything that we had to use just to get something in there. But let's say that we wanted, we could just paint over that and would replace it. I normally don't do any retouching in Helicon. I might do a little bit if I got like maybe 30 or 40 photos, yeah. But like more than that, I'll usually go to Photoshop and I'll use the clone, the remove tool, the spot heal brush, and do some stuff in there. So that's what it looks like. Let's just bring up I mean, It's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So that's what it looks like. And I'm sorry I wasted your time. See you later. Oh, you know what? Before I go, maybe if I decide to post this, I will actually do this needle with a 2 times or 3 times or 4 times magnification and get a proper one done instead of whatever the hell I got going on right here. So thanks for watching. So the next thing you see will be the final output and we'll go from there. Bye. So I really didn't want to bring this into Photoshop. Just, I was like I said, I just wanted to see what the focus bracketing was like and, how it moved on certain things. And I found out. But I just wanted to see, if I wanted to salvage this picture, is there anything I could do? I mean, I could sit here for hours and just do a clone stamp, but clone where? I mean, the background's just horrible. Um, which is to be expected. Is to be expected. Now, if I would have done this properly, even with the 100 millimeter, 100 millimeter lens, I probably would have used f5.6. Um, I would have used flash, so I wouldn't have any of this noise at all. And this is heavily denoised, heavily denoised. So I could spend just hours upon hours cloning and removing. It doesn't make any sense. So the best thing to probably do is to make a background copy, Command J on the Mac. I don't know about Windows because I'm not a Windows person, so figure it out. Or you can just come down here and just drag it into your copy. So now we got a copy here. And then what I'm gonna do is I want to get rid of the background. So let's create a solid layer. Make a solid layer. And I don't know, let's just make it whatever the heck that color is. We'll go with that with solid. Let's drop it down below that. Let's click on this layer, and then we're going to try to mask this out. We're going to try to select the subject to let the Photoshop see how good it is. And then if we can, we'll do a mask on it. So click select subject. It's working. Okay, so yeah, what the hell? It did a pretty good job. So let's take that. Now let's create a layer mask on that. Bam. So now we have it cut out and we got the bluish background. I'm mild colorblind, so if this is not like totally blue, then I'm sorry. Um, but what I like about this, well, I don't like anything about this, but what I like about this is how I kind of manipulate my background sometimes on my macro shots if I want it all black or something like that. Because I can just come right up here. I can double click on this. And I can just move this around. I can change this background to any color I want. Anywhere. I can move the slider up and down if I want to go right here. You know, I mean, yeah, it looks like McButt right now just because of the floor. I mean, we got out of focus stuff right here. Uh, right there, right where that is right there. It looks like a piece of my hair after I stab myself. Right there's a chunk of my skin, probably. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you guys get the point. I mean, what we can do, so it is what it is. I found out what I wanted to find out. I know I wasted a lot of your time. If you want to call me names in the comment section. It just pushes my video up. It's fine by me. But yeah, so I think I'll do maybe a photo shoot with the needle with the proper lighting and which are strobes, flashes, and a proper f-stop and a proper magnification. So if you haven't, please like, subscribe, and comment. Go to my Facebook and my Instagram because that's where I'll post those pictures because I do not want to do another needle video for quite a long time after this. So thanks for watching. See you later.